Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Star Flames. In this video we're going to talk about demonic possession in high schools in Jamaica. It happens sometimes in elementary schools. So if this is not your kind of video, it's best for you to opt out now because we're going to talk a lot about demonic force, the dead, and all of that. So now is a good time to get off this video because you may get really scared. No, I was contemplating if I should share some of the clips with you guys, but then when I look at it, many people are seriously afraid because I realize that even though we talk about demonic entity, dark entity, it's not something many people have experienced firsthand. And in Jamaica, it's different. It's something that a lot of Jamaicans experience firsthand. It's not because anyone here in Jamaica is doing anything necessarily demonic. Not saying that people does not get involved in demonic worship practices or anything like that, but that is not what is causing this. What is causing this is the mere fact that you know that Jamaica was a huge part of slavery, the plantation. Christopher Columbus came, and the British monarchy, they enslaved people. Many people were murdered. Many people died so horrifically, and there were mass murders, mass killings, and all of that. As such, Jamaica has a lot of cemeteries. No, not just cemeteries, but we have what is known as great houses as well. So as time passes, Jamaica we got our freedom, and as such, we had a lot of old slave cemeteries. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. Now, the government decided that we have passed this time, you know so we can use these lands to do something more profitable, because it was just too gloomy to have all these cemeteries in Jamaica. And it was also a horrific and gruesome reminder of what we had to fought through for freedom. So, they decided that they were gonna clear these lands. So they cleared these lands and they built schools. Most of these schools in Jamaica, most of them are built on slave cemetery. So as such, we have what I call active periods in Jamaica where the dead is active on these school campuses. I know all of this sounds weird, but I mean, you can check and do some research because there's so much of it now that is happening. And I think that what happens is that when I was much younger, we were told that at a particular time of the year, we have to stay on school grounds because based on how our schools were built, around the perimeter of the school, there will still be cemeteries, graves. And in these areas, there were a lot of fruit trees. So we would often, go venture into these territories and get our fruits. Now, when it comes to the summer holidays, like August, we would be out of school, so that would be fine. But we would normally return to school September. So we were advised that during the ending of September to October, we cannot venture into any of those territories because it would be very dangerous for us. Also, we were forbidden to do anything that sounded like chanting. We were forbidden to, knock any drum, any drum that was made from wood and goat skin. We were forbidden to, knock on any drum because automatically, without us knowing, we would be summoning the dead. No, it's a lot. No, most recently, what has happened in Jamaica is that they were having the devotion at Oberlin High School. No, I'm going to say this teacher is dead wrong because we ought to know better by now. I think that each time we get a break from this, we tend to forget what will happen and what can potentially happen. So in Oberlin High School in Jamaica, they were having, devotion. Devotion is a huge part of the schools. I would say it's what they do before they start school each day. Also, after lunch, we would have another get together, or before lunch, we would pray again. So, devotion normally starts in the morning. Sometimes it's general devotion where all the classes meet in one assembly area, or it can be just devotions being held in your classes along with what we call a form teacher. So it's a lot, but this is a video that you have to have patience for and try to understand what I'm saying, right? No, this teacher was having a classroom devotion and she started praying and she started speaking in tongues. No, we know that these are things that we should not do in our schools, because if you're going to speak in tongues, you can speak in tongues to summon demons. You can speak in tongues to, perform exorcism and all of that. Also, the Bible has taught us that you should not speak in tongues without an interpreter. As such, I don't know why this teacher went this far. Some of you may say, oh, she didn't have any control. I think she did. I think that we should always be aware of where we are at times and know that what can potentially happen if I do this. So this teacher was conducting morning devotion and she was praying and she started speaking in tongues. After that, I mean, whoa, things got really out of control. The kids were frothing from their mouth, their nostrils. The entire school got sick, basically. Well, most kids, not necessarily everyone, but most kids got sick. The school was on lockdown because kids were behaving just out of control. They were not aware of some of the things they were doing and saying, and parents had to go in. Parents were allowed to go in and take the kids out, and get them to the hospital. So this is why I said that the teacher is wrong, because we know what we have dealing with, and we don't necessarily have the answers to everything, but there's some things that we do know. And one of the main thing is that we know that a particular time of the year, it's as though the ancestors are roaming wilder than normal. For example, I remember working at this company and I was told that, the ancestors are active in this building every December and you may potentially get sick. That's what I was told. And I was like, okay, how bad can it be? How bad can this be? And I remember it was December and I realized that there wasn't much people coming into the office. And I thought that it was a little bit weird, but then we would see door closing, door opening, door closing repeatedly, and people would just get sick. You're just weak, you can't explain what you're feeling. You feel like you have the flu, but you don't necessarily have the flu. So stuff like those happens. So again, it all has to do with the location that building was built. It's something like the poltergeist. If you guys have watched it, it's something like that. So you would find that here in Jamaica, when someone is going to build a home, they have a ritual that they would normally do because they don't know if the land that they're building on was once a slave cemetery. It's a lot. I I decided that I want to talk about it because it is happening again. And normally when it happens, I did not have a YouTube channel, but now that it's happening again, I want to talk about it. And what's funny is that this thing will start at one school, right? It starts at one school. And then the government, issues a public service announcement and say, okay, going forward, devotion should be conducted in such manner. If you're having any school activities, do not beat any drum that is made from board and goat skin. But guess what? Someone will forget and someone will think that nothing is going to happen because we haven't had this experience within the past 5 years. So I think we'll be good this year. But lo and behold, there will be demonic possession. This happens at beaches as well. These beaches are beaches that slaves were brought in at actively. So any beach that was used to transport slave where it had any strong presence of slaves, when it touches the period of let's August, September, October, those are like the active times when you could see weird stuff. And if you go on these beaches, chances are you may die or you may get sick, because this is something that I know I've seen people, just ending up dying mysteriously. And those deaths, all of them, have a particular pattern. So, guys, I'm not going to include any of the video in this, but if any of you guys want to see what I'm talking about, and if you're brave enough to watch that video, then you can message me on Instagram and I'll share the video with you guys. Or should I share it on my Instagram page? But no, I'm not going to do that as well because Instagram has a very large audience. So I think it would be best that I share it privately with those who are interested in seeing it. But that's all I want to talk about. Thanks for your time. Stay safe, stay blessed. See you all next time. Bye, guys.